Makes sense. Hey, Rupa, welcome to this conversation between you and I, between Portfolio People and the Portfolio Career Institute.
Hey Andrea, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. Well, today we're together and we said we want to talk about the inner work of portfolio careers, right? And we've been talking about this, and in my experience, when I have people that reach out to talk to me about portfolio careers, um, there's three types of people. Ones are like, oh, I'm fed up with corporate, I want to get out. And they're usually I see, okay, they just want to escape one thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that they really want a portfolio career. That's where I start to ask lots of tricky questions.
Yeah.
And then there's the other ones that are like, oh, hey, I've been growing something, I no longer feel at home in the corporate world. And they often embark on a true journey of getting to know themselves, because I don't know how you see it, but building a portfolio career really means you have to get to know yourself to the core. What do you stand for? What are your strengths? Where do you add value? So have you experienced something like this as well?
Yeah, I guess I'm reflecting on a conversation earlier today with someone that's obviously reached out and is considering a portfolio career. What I enjoyed about the conversation actually is their forward planning. And I think a lot of people might think about career transitions maybe after they've been made redundant, or if they're thinking about leaving work, to your other point. Whereas this person has a good understanding of what portfolio career is, maybe not the way I would explain it, and they are planning for the future. So
Mhm.
recognizing that they may still be in a full-time role, or their full-time role for another the 5 years, but starting now. Um,
Mhm.
so yes, and one of the things they said to me is, well, actually, I don't feel like I'm mentally challenged right now. So I'm in a good job, in a good in a good role. But one of the things I don't feel like I'm mentally challenged anymore. So I need something else. And that, to your point, is one of the aspects of a portfolio career, and one
Mhm.
of the things that people may wish to work on.
Absolutely. And that's when it comes from within, it's not about escaping something. I really like that idea. I call those the people that also realize maybe that they have multiple interests, right? And I love that, because that always gives a totally different energy. There's this maybe other persona, I would say, of portfolio careerists. And I always say they are the strategic diversifiers. And they come from a similar perspective, right? They say, I think there will be more. Maybe my job is going to be taken by AI or something. But what they add is really, okay, I also want to de risk. I want to do several things because I have several interests, but really also to de risk, to have a portfolio, as we would say in investing.
Yeah, and investing is a good term, because I think let's all be realistic. A lot of people think in terms of finances, they think in terms of their home situation, and the inner work at some point we do need to take a couple of steps back to understand where we are, what we need financially,
Mhm.
what is enough, and what we think we need actually, because you can't go off and do lots of different things if that's a concern for you, if that's a worry for you, and you haven't done your own self-assessment. I would have thought.
Mhm. Absolutely. Actually, let me share something super interesting. I did a survey last year. I don't know if I told you about it. We asked almost 300 participants. I think it was 277 participants, various things about portfolio careers. And now I'm analyzing the data. And today I just found out something which is so interesting. So there is this question about, financial security. And basically, we asked people with a portfolio career if they care about financial security, if they think this is their biggest risk. And we asked people without a portfolio career how they see the topic of financial security. And turns out that people without a portfolio career more often claimed that financial security is a challenge within a portfolio career. So basically, from the outside, it looks much more dangerous. But once you start building it, opportunities arise. And I thought that's super interesting. And I'm preparing the data to really communicating it, because lots of people, have this fear, and data is showing something else. I mean, it's a small number, right? 277 participants, but still, yeah, it's really almost not significant to see that difference. So that was really interesting.
I'll be curious when you're at that point as to what the percentages are, even from that sample, which is still a decent sized sample. And I think that the two things that spring to mind when you say that is the perception of risk, right? So actually having one source of income is riskier than having multiple. And maybe there's something about resilience and trusting the process once you have started to build a portfolio career.
Absolutely. Yeah. I fully agree. There is this aspect of resilience, and I would even add, oh, look, my cat is coming to greet us. I forgot to close the door. That's a very typical thing to happen in my portfolio. This is my cat assistant, which is also, besides resilience, really that journey of, evaluating where do I add value. And I remember hearing this beautiful thing in one of my course cohorts. One of the participants said, when I introduced the Ikigai principle, she said, well, portfolio careers and the Ikigai principle, they kind of shake hands.
Yeah.
I think it's true.
Yeah. Yeah. And like what we do doesn't always have to totally interlink, but I think that's part of the process, experimenting in those different areas, and eventually there is a running thread throughout.
Absolutely, yeah. And I also think, this idea of really pursuing things where we are also passionate about. What are we good at, right? I think that's an important part. It's not just about what we like doing, but really looking at both sides is so interesting. So, yeah.
Awesome. So, Andreia, where would you say when it comes to inner work, things like understanding our skills and understanding what we might need to learn and reskill on comes into the inner work?
So I think beyond reskilling, where I really like to start is the actual point of, transferring skills. People tend to undervalue existing skills and forget that most skills that we learned maybe in one job will also help us in another. And that's also where the pieces of the puzzle come together, right? Everything we do adds value to understand maybe the context in which we work. Maybe we can just handle this type of clients better or whatever it is. But I really believe that before even looking at that, because maybe you've also heard of that, I have lots of female clients mainly that say something like, oh, I just need that one course more before I get started. I need to train this more. And that's why I really think, okay, let's work with what we have and get started now. So
absolutely. And I think there is something in hobbies. Like I've damaged my knee, by the way. I think I told you this, playing paddle on Friday. And already there's a crossover, right? Like the getting involved in sports and the social side of things and understanding what you want to do and what you don't want to do comes into it. Yes, it's a bit of a damage, but it's okay. You know that you and I can talk about portfolio careers for hours, but we said we'd just catch up for 10 minutes today.
Exactly.
I think we're gonna catch up maybe weekly from now on. So let's see. Let's see if we can continue the conversation on a slightly different theme next week.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's do that. Well, thanks a lot. It was a pleasure to talk about portfolio careers with you, and see you next week. Bye, Rupa.
Bye, Andreia.